like you lost another one.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Conversations with Taz. Whew, we have a lot to get into for this week recap. Let's start with the Halderson verdict, aka the Eagle Scout murder, where this young man decided after weaving a web of lies regarding his life to his parents. Upon it being found out, he decided to shoot them, dismember them, set them on fire, and then bury their bodies in various places. The jury deliberated for a total of 2 hours, and he was found guilty on all counts. First degree intentional homicide, providing false information on kidnapping, 2 counts of mutilating a corpse, and 2 counts of hiding a corpse. But that's not the only trial we got going on. What's being called the road rage murder regarding Theodore Edgecombe, age 32. An eyewitness testified today. And if any of you all caught the footage or caught an article regarding that and you're concerned about the eyewitness being in an orange jumpsuit, because of the type of witness that he was, and they thought that he just wasn't going to show up to court, because he did admit today in court that he is a business owner and a father of 6. He explained to them, I can't just drop everything to come and pick up the subpoena. I know when the court date is. I will be there. I've talked to you all on the phone. When he went to go pick up the subpoena, they arrested him because he is a material witness. But he did say that Clearman, the individual who is deceased, was the aggressor right before the shooting, that Edgecombe tried to leave several times. His viewpoint was that he was behind the car of Mr. and Mrs. Clearman and behind the bike that Edgecombe was riding. Witness's name is Rotrell Cameron. Mr. Cameron stated that Mrs. Clearman, the wife of the victim, was extremely calm after her husband was shot, but Cameron himself was hysterical. There was a knife present due to additional testimony, but the knife was never tested, so they can't definitively say who the knife belonged to. And that was the best nuggets from today. Everything else was a bunch of technical jargon, and the prosecution just trying to make things, in my opinion, seem to contradict the video evidence that was there. And a lot of the witnesses for the prosecution didn't seem like they wanted to be there for the prosecution at all. And there are a lot of news outlets quoting Mr. Cameron saying to 911 after the shooting, like, oh, that was cold-blooded. This man admitted that he was hysterical. He just saw someone die before his eyes. He has no idea what happened prior to it, which he admitted to. And this is when I say you have to have diversity in juries, because in the realm of AAVE, we know what that meant, but I digress. Unfortunately, my apologies. Tonight I just can't talk. Unfortunately, tonight, I do have to inform you of the passing of yet someone else. And for those of you all that are Marvel stans, such as myself, and you saw the new Moon Knight trailer, or you saw Eternals, here we go.
French actor Gaspard Ulliel has died at the age of 37. One of France's best-known actors was set to appear in Marvel's forthcoming Disney Plus series Moon Knight. He died Wednesday after colliding with another person while skiing in France and suffering severe brain trauma. His death comes just one day after Marvel released its first trailer for Moon Knight online.
So my condolences to his family and friends. And a talent such as his and a person such as he was will truly be missed. Now, unfortunately, we must segue into the bane of the existence of the entire country, and most notably the Commonwealth of Kentucky. You all know the eternal politician and cockroach upon the ever crumbling foundation of American democracy. Mitch the bitch. Here we go.
What's your message for voters of color who are concerned that without the John L. Lewis Voting Rights Act, they're not going to be able to vote in the midterm?
Well, the concern is misplaced because if you look at the statistics, African American voters are voting in just as high a percentage as Americans. A recent survey, 94% of Americans thought it was easy to vote.
Did you catch that? He separated Black people from Americans. This goes to show and further prove that American is the default for white people. And who is this 94% that he's getting this statistic from that said that it was so easy to vote in the last presidential election? Because I remember news cycles. I remember people going online, creating posts, creating videos, showing what they went through. I remember sitting right where I'm sitting now and hearing about voter restriction laws being passed coast to coast. Because in Georgia, if you give somebody water or food in the long lines, excuse me, now all of a sudden you're disqualified from voting. When was it so easy? And when has it been easy for people of color to vote? They're suspicious. That's weird. But yes, Mitch the bitch said yet another quiet part out loud again today. 2022 is taking all these other people. But some way, somehow, the Grim Reaper keeps losing Mitch's address. Shit. On to our next clip. I told y'all we got a lot to cover tonight.
We had an election that was stolen from us. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace.
Let's just continue upon this Trump train. So, the Trump organization claimed an apartment was worth $25 million while also offering it to Ivanka Trump for $8 million, the New York Attorney General alleges in the fraud case. Here are the cliff notes. The New York Attorney General alleged value inflation by Trump's business in new filings. An apartment that was valued at $25 million, documents say, but offered to Ivanka Trump for $8 million. Donald Trump has long denied wrongdoing and says the investigation is politically motivated. For once, I would just like for him to spell one of the words that he uses. I don't even really need him to define it because we all know he can't, but just spell one of them. But according to the documents, the Trump organization in financial statements between 2011 and 2020 said the entire property was worth between $135 million and $350 million, with unsold residential condominiums representing about 95% of the value. But according to AG James, evidence indicates that the real value of the properties was boosted as a part of a scheme involving several other Trump assets to secure financial gain. Surprise, surprise. This man lives in government assisted housing. And y'all really thought that once a grifter, always the grifter. Like I said, we're going to keep the Trump train going. Might as well give you all the Trump tidbits right up front. January 6th riot probe to get 4 pages of Trump White House documents while his lawyer threatens legal action. Don't they always? He's been threatening legal action for decades and has yet to actually sue anyone and do it successfully. But I digress. Cliff notes. The Justice Department told a federal appeals court that 4 pages of Trump White House records will be given to the Select House Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot, the insurrection. The Department of Justice says those documents are not covered by a temporary injunction barring the release of many other Trump records, but a lawyer for the former president said their release would violate that injunction. No, I won't. No, I won't. You just don't want people to find out about the truth. And finalement, January 6th committee requests interview with Ivanka Trump. The House committee investigating the U.S. Capitol insurrection, ooh, somebody said it right, look at them, is asking Ivanka Trump, daughter of former President Donald Trump, to voluntarily cooperate as lawmakers make their first public attempt to arrange an interview with a Trump family member. The committee sent a letter Thursday requesting a meeting in February with Ivanka Trump, a White House advisor to her father. In the letter, the committee chairman, Representative Benny Thompson, a Democrat from Mississippi, said Ivanka Trump was in direct contact with her father during key moments on January 6, 2021, when Trump supporters stormed the Capitol in an effort to halt the congressional certification of Joe Biden's presidential win. Now, I know Ivanka loves her daddy boyfriend, but I do not see Miss Mama's taking any amount of jail time for him. She already took some hits regarding her business and additional hits regarding her reputation that the streets are talking, saying that she holds her reputation very highly. She does not take that lightly. I don't think she's gonna wallow in the dirt like her brothers, because there are times where she gets real quiet and her brothers are barking like chihuahuas trying to chase a mailman. But I guess. Now, something lighthearted before we dig into the rest of the craziness that is the United States right about now. Okay, I'm sorry. I can do this. Missouri Highway Patrol mistakenly sends Batman-themed alert. Jefferson City, Missouri. The Missouri State Highway Patrol alert sent cell phones blaring statewide. Authorities in Gotham City, Missouri were searching for a purple and green 1978 Dodge 3700 GT. Y'all, that's Joker's ride. Somebody about to lose their job. Okay, wait. They tried to clean it up, though. They tried to clean it up. Hold on. I don't know why this is tickling me so much. In a brief news release, the patrol said a routine test of Missouri's Blue Alert system was inadvertently transmitted statewide. The system is meant to let the public know when a police officer is killed or seriously injured in the line of duty. Don't nobody care. During the test, an option was incorrectly selected, allowing the message to be disseminated to the public. The news release stated, a message left with patrol on Wednesday seeking additional information was so y'all out here practicing like y'all Gotham City? Baby, you're Missouri. You're Missouri. I could understand Albany police using DC as their way of testing their stuff. I can understand NYC using it because we know Metropolis, NYC, we know the correlations. Missouri, y'all should have used Nelly songs. Y'all should have used lyrics from a Nelly song, okay? Should have said you was looking for a street sweeper. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. Shimmy, shimmy, wow. Why am I so tickled by this? I'm so childish. I'm so childish. I'm not going to make it through a replay gig. I am not Zendaya. I'm not going to make it through. This story has been living rent free in my head for 48 hours. And I even practiced. I was like, I can be mature. I can. I cannot. Obviously, I cannot. Okay, let me get myself together because the next story is pretty serious. Okay, hold on. Whew. Whew, okay. Okay. All right. Let's focus, people. Let's focus. University of Michigan reaches $490 million settlement over sexual abuse. The University of Michigan announced a $490 million settlement Wednesday with more than 1,000 people who say that they were sexually assaulted by a sports doctor during his nearly 4-decade career at the school. The university said 1,050 people will share in the financial settlement, the latest in several large payouts made by American universities following accusations of repeated sexual abuse by employees. Individuals and their attorneys will determine how to split the $460 million with no input from the university, the school said in a statement. An additional $30 million will be set aside for future claims. Y'all already prepared. You know what? This is why some people's mamas shouldn't have went on dates hungry. They just, what the just burn the school to the ground. Because if you need to set, this ain't like, oh, I got paid this week, but I know I messed up my budget last week. Let me put a little extra $30 to the side just in case. $30 million for future accusation. That's not very proactive. That's not what we mean by be proactive. That's not what we mean when we say protect the children. I gotta go back to looking for property on Venus or Mars. Hell, I'll even take Saturn at this point. I don't care. I will go to Pluto at this shit. I will live on Uranus at this point because Earth just gets more and more ghetto every damn day. The she definitely got more than the eggplant. She Baby, when we said discard the seeds, we didn't mean in your uterus. Look what you created. Oh, God. And in we knew this was going to happen news. Voting bill collapses. Democrats unable to change filibuster or any damn thing. How the hell are you the majority in both houses and you can't get any change to go? Like, how you messing that up? That's like me saying, "Hey, meet me at the spot. We gonna have a competition between your friends and my friends, and I know I told you last minute, and I done told my friends like a week ago, and half the place is filled with my friends. How we not beating you? How?" how and of course, Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, who I still can't figure out why they classify themselves as Democrats, because they align with the good old boys. You know, the party of the Oath Keepers. I mean, the GOP. The Grand Old Party. I of course, they went against it because, anything for the people they don't want. Jury selection did begin in the federal trial regarding the murder of George Floyd. So the jurors are being chosen to hear the case against former officers Thao, Lane, and Kung. I think I'm pronouncing those correctly. If I am not, my apologies. I mean, no disrespect from any of those individuals' backgrounds. If you share a nationality or ethnicity with them, I mean, no disrespect to you. But these motherfuckers here, you align with the Popper Party. At this point, I think I'm between the Green Party and the Pink Party, and yes, they are real parties. So, yeah. And then in your not so friendly neighborhood fuck twat news, Marjorie Taylor Greene uses MLK Day to announce a new segregation for the unvaccinated. They just keep trying black people and Jewish people. Like, my Jewish brothers and sisters, just tell me when we riding. Is it at dawn tomorrow? That's cool. I'll get up. I'll have my coffee because it's time for us to just go whoop some ass. But here's the nitty gritty. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene used MLK Day to claim that there is, quote, new segregation, unquote, for people who are unvaccinated against the coronavirus. This is what she wrote, y'all. This is what she wrote. Thanks to the hard work of Reverend MLK Jr., bitch, if you don't put some respect on his name, and others, growing up in Georgia, I've seen the beautiful fruit that blossomed from the civil rights era, where segregation ended and equality began. Bitch, this bitch. Today, I believe we are seeing a new segregation and discrimination beginning, wrongfully forced upon unvaccinated Americans by the tyrants of the Democratic Party. Our grandmothers and grandfathers did not march for this shit. Our mothers and fathers did not march for this shit. Our great grandparents did not suffer the way that they did. And yes, I got the generations correct. Things didn't happen so far back that you think. Yeah, Geeky. I'm ready to ride shotgun. I'm filling all the cups up with coffee because I can't fall asleep for this. And this heifer right here. You know, she is so starved for attention. Maybe if we tweet her enough, we could get her to come on the show. Because deplorable is too nice of a term, too nice of a word for her. But to what I already read to you, she added this. Our freedoms come from our Almighty God, and we must not let any man take them away. So riddle me this, Batman. If freedoms come from God, how are you able to enslave people for hundreds of years? Number one. And then those that don't believe in your Christian God, do they just not get rights? Which means that there wouldn't be any discrimination against a non-Christian who was unvaccinated. That because they wouldn't have rights, correct? And if you do not uphold your 10 commandments and the rules within your pretty little packaged book, would you be entitled to rights? Hmm. You know, I would actually like to ask mangled migraine brained Marjorie these questions. Now here's one update that really bothered me. I know it's not new, but it took me a while to get my emotions in check to be able to do this one. And it's that researchers they believe they've uncovered who betrayed Anne Frank. So I'm just going to read this information and then I'm going to go on to the next because this is hard. Otto Frank was the only one from the Frank family, as well as from the hideout, who survived the Holocaust. It turns out that the note was from Arnold Vandenberg, who was a Jewish notary well known by Otto, making Arnold Vandenberg the betrayer. Due to the fact that Vandenberg was also Jewish, he was most likely forced by the Nazis to unveil Frank's family's location. The experts assume, based on the tactics used by the Nazis, that it was either Vandenberg's family or Frank's. Taking into consideration that Vandenberg also survived the Holocaust, it makes it seem very plausible that his family was spared for selling the Franks to the Nazis. From the research, there have been accounts found that show Arnold Vandenberg had done business with the Nazis before. He sold works of art to prominent Nazis such as Hermann Göring and other Nazi officials who had an interest in art. Once again, just like every Jewish person, he was probably pushed to make such business. It was not for his gain, but for the Nazis' gain. The only gain for him was to protect his as well as his family's life. And as it stated, I am going to just move on from there. I am not Jewish, therefore I'm not going to speculate or try to speak on why he did or may not have done what he did. Just sharing the research. But on to a bit of It's About Time news. 102 millionaires, including Abigail Disney, have signed another letter asking governments around the world to raise their taxes. Yes, you heard me correctly. A group of 102 super wealthy people have signed a letter asking governments to raise their taxes. The current tax system is unfair and leads to trust erosion, they say it. They are calling on leaders meeting at the World Economic Forum this week to address the issue. In an open letter, 102 super wealthy individuals said that the current tax system is unfair and leads to erosion in trust. Most of us can say that. While the world has gone through an immense amount of suffering in the last 2 years, we have actually seen our wealth rise during the pandemic. Yet few, if any of us, can honestly say that we pay our fair share in taxes, said the group, which is backed by three separate organizations: US based Patriotic Millionaires, Germany based Tax Me, and Denmark based Millionaires for Humanity. Among the group members are Disney heiress Abigail Disney, who is a longtime advocate of higher taxes for the very wealthy, her brother, Tim Disney, and early Amazon investor Nick Hanauer. The letter is signed by individuals from 9 countries, including the US, UK, Canada, and Germany. Yes, there are 2 Disneys that want taxes increased. 2. But it's about time, and it's about time these governments start listening. They think that their claim to fame and their sustainability as a country is by giving all these break. See, this is one thing I've never understood about economics. There's a reason why I'm using air quotes. Is because the more money you obtain, the more people want to give you free things. If I now have the money to buy more of your product that I've been wanting to have since before I had this money, why are you now giving it to me for free? To cause depression in the people who can't afford it. They aren't your target demographic. Your target demographic for your price point is me, but you're giving your product to me for free. And then trying to shame and use classism to get people who your product is out of their budget to buy it. You want them to end up homeless just so that they can say they're wearing Givenchy. And if I have more money and I can give you better infrastructure, I can make sure that there are better schools because of what I pay in taxes. Why are you giving me a tax break? Obviously, I don't need a tax break. I have money to spare. After I pay my bills, I'm good. I don't have to wait to get paid to pay a bill. Make it make sense. Now, the people who need the tax cuts that will purchase more and flourish the economy more, you want to tax out the wazoo and then be like, why is this closing? Why? Because the people who you need to patronize here cannot afford to patronize here because you took all their money in taxes. You tax them on their checks. You tax them at the store. You tax them at the end of the year. You tax. Yeah, the PR list. Yeah. Oh, I've been waiting for this one. All of the Anglo audacity and the white woman tears are in this one right here. Oh. And if you don't have a beverage or some popcorn or some type of snack, I suggest you get some. I'll give you a second. Get something to drink, get something to eat, because, whoo, baby, this one is going to be interesting. It's going, ooh, real life reality TV shenanigans. Okay, we set. Okay, let's go. Let's get a sippy sip. You're gonna understand why I'm chuckling in a minute. You're gonna understand why I'm chuckling right after I read the headline, before I even get into the crux of the article. White woman loses Rhodes Scholarship after getting busted for lying about being poor and growing up in foster care. She's a dumb one, Mrs. Bitch. She tried and then she failed. She knew she could not compete, so she knew she had to cheat, Miss Bitch. So, let's get into it. In November 2020, University of Pennsylvania graduate student Mackenzie Fierstein, 24, won the Rhodes Scholarship to study at Oxford University. It's a hard scholarship to win, but Fierstein was granted the coveted prize due to the adversity this brave young woman claimed she overcame. When the Rhodes Trust saw that she said she grew up in poverty and in the foster care system, that she was the survivor of child abuse, and that she was the first in her family to attend college, it found her story so inspiring that the panel couldn't think of a better candidate to be awarded the scholarship. There was only one problem. This white woman was lying her ass off. That's it's really what it says. It's really what it says. I'm not ad-libbing this time, y'all. According to Evening Standard, the Rhodes Trust and University of Pennsylvania received. Hold on, wait a minute. Howdy.
Howdy. Sorry to be late.
Oh, we're fine. We're talking about this white lady that lied to become a Rhodes Scholar. So hold on. Let me get back to the. Okay. Let me read my quote. According to the Evening Standard, the Rhodes Trust and University of Pennsylvania received an anonymous tip that Fierstein was being blatantly dishonest when she described herself on her application for the scholarship as a first-generation, low-income student and former foster youth. The Standard reported that the source told the trust and university how Miss Fierstein whose previous name was Mackenzie Morrison, went to Whitfield Private School in Missouri. Oh, here we go with Missouri again tonight, y'all. Her mother was a radiologist, and her hobbies at school included riding, horseback riding, y'all, skydiving, and whitewater rafting. So basically, this, and once again, I'm reading exactly from the article. I know this sounds like I wrote the article or I'm ad-libbing, but I didn't, okay? So basically, this caucasity-infused white woman who purported herself to be a have-not who came from have-nots is allegedly a middle-class woman who went to a $30,000 a year private school and had at least one highly educated and credentialed parent, and had the kind of childhood hobbies that are typically enjoyed by people who shop without even bothering to look at price tags. So the trust investigated Fierstein and found that she spent less than 1 year in foster care at age 17 after she told police her mother pushed her down a flight of stairs at their home, which I'm finding is very typical for white kids and their parents. A $750,000 home, as investigators noted. As a result of the call to police, Fierstein's mother was arrested, but charges against her were dropped due to lack of evidence. After the investigation, a Rhodes committee found that Fierstein created and repeatedly shared false narratives about herself and used misrepresentations to serve her interests as an applicant for competitive programs. As a result, Fierstein withdrew from the Rhodes program, and the University of Pennsylvania is withholding her master's degree pending further investigation. The Rhodes Trust conducted its own investigation. The trust then gave Ms. Fierstein the opportunity to withdraw her candidacy if she chose to do so. A University of Pennsylvania spokesman said in a statement, Ms. Fierstein accepted that offer. Steer Fierstein is dying on the woe is me hill and claiming she didn't tell any lies on her application. In a lawsuit filed last month, she accused the university and trust investigators of attacking a survivor of abuse. And please note, I know some people, when it's MRS or it's a Mrs., they will say Miss. Her name changed. Nobody said why she changed her last name, but it's still Miss, which means she still ain't married. But Sister Girl lied and played the, oh, I'm a pitiful white woman. Please help. And I'm pretty sure why somebody decided to be petty and tip off the committee is because, when white women are white womening too much, they get braggadocious. So she put this up on Twitter. Got a whole family there. Siblings, mama. Thought you was in foster care, boo-boo.
I gotta mute myself for 1 second because I'm gonna laugh and I don't want everybody to hear.
I was cackling coming up to this because I was like, what? Isn't this what they say we do? Isn't they say that we get free college everything? And She done turned herself into little orphan Annie. It's a hard knock life for the suburbs. It's a hard knock life for the suburbs. I go horseback riding, but that's not good enough for me.
I cannot. The shenanigans, the shade, the audacity, the caucasity. I'm just done.
And see, there's something I told to my kids years ago because in the area that we lived in at the time, there were a bunch of rappers coming up that were acting like they were struggle rappers. And I'm like, we went to school together. Like, you got gifted a Jag at graduation. What are you sitting here putting out music talking about? I even put it up on Facebook. I said, if one of my kids try to act like, I'm going to come out with a dish. If I was her mama, you said what to the people on your application? I know you probably never sat down and watched the show Good Times, but I'm going to show you how to iron real quick. Go plug it in. Go plug it in. I'm going to call you Penny for the rest of the day, bitch. Let's go.
That was no worse when hold on. Just give me a minute.
Gigi, I really think I've heard stories like this so many times that white kids, and there have been some that are now adults, have admitted that when they couldn't get their way, they would do stuff to get their parents arrested, knowing that they would just be held for 24, 48 hours just so that they could go do the thing that they wanted to do, where nothing happened. There wasn't a bad incident. It was just a bad kid wanting their way. And I'm like, y'all some sick motherfuckers. And maybe y'all parents should start whipping y'all like they used to whip us in the fields. What the hell? Like, how y'all go from beating the daylights out of us to you want to put LaJohnny in timeout? It took you 600 years to figure out that shit was traumatic. Well, obviously, LaJohnny needs some trauma.
That's no better than, I don't know if most people remember this movie. It's no better than that. And that was full on blackface. Full on. Like, full on. Like, the movie studios had no problem doing this. And I was just like, and you know what the bad thing about this was? The really honest bad thing is we laughed. And we sat back and giggled and kikied. And I'm just like, we did not even realize that that's what was going on. And our parents were just like, why are they laughing? What is wrong with this? What is wrong with them?
Her house slipper at my head. And I was like, oh, this is one of those movies that was supposed to be a lesson. Oh, she paused that so quick because, you know, this was during the Blockbuster days. And she looked at me. She's like, what did I teach you?
Like, our parents were sitting there looking at us like we was stupid. I'm like, why are you laughing? This is not a laughing moment. This ain't cute.
Yeah, because I was just sitting there like, and when I tell you, and I mean, she threw it at me quick. What the? Miss Mamas. And then I realized she could move a refrigerator by herself. So I was like, let me just shut up and listen because I can't outrun her. We the exact same height and weight. We just going to be, what, side by side?
So I'm just like, it's just, and see, it goes back to what we've been saying for years and years and years. And I think Eb was talking about it on her live today on TikTok. I know you're not on there, but she was talking about it. I think she was talking with Voodoo Bay. I don't know if you knew her before you got kicked off.
Okay. There is a very, very attractive woman who has a gorgeous voice, but she has a makeup line. Is that the woman I'm thinking about?
Hang on. I'll see if I can find it. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment. 1 second. I'm going to pull it up. Hold up. Give me a second.
And if it's not her, I've conflated her with somebody else. It is no disrespect, because I know how folks like to come on here and try to run back and say that I was dogging somebody. Nope. If I'm thinking of the wrong person, it's a general. I'm sorry. Yeah, she has a makeup line. Oh, I love her skin and her voice. It's so soothing.
Yeah, so before you got run off of TikTok, this is who she was talking to
I didn't
today.
get run off. Them motherfuckers killed me on TikTok.
You know what
They
I meant.
soap opera
You know what I meant. You know what I meant. Jeez. Anyway, so she was talking with Eb today, and I was into the conversation, but again, I was, I was an observer, as I can only speak for. I came in late to the conversation, but basically they were talking about, you know, basically if we're trying to dismantle something, you have to be passionate about it. And Eb took a different stance. She was just like, you have to be knowledgeable in order to dismantle something. And Voodoo Bay was like, you have to be passionate to dismantle something. So I'm just like, both of them right. You have to be knowledgeable and passion. The passion has to come in order to be there.
They don't realize that they're saying the same thing. Because when you have a quest for knowledge, which will make you knowledgeable, that passion is there. Because nobody without an insatiable passion wakes up every day and decides, how can I educate myself more on this? I am living, breathing proof of this. No one just says, I'm going to go into the depths of research to make sure I can dismantle you historically.
Well, no, because Eb was speaking about it. She was just like, to the people who have the ability to change the thing or to rewrite the thing or to do anything with them, you can't come at them with passion, because for the most part, they don't care about that. They need you to speak to them from here to get the change going. And Voodoo Bay was just like, I'll agree to disagree. I say you need that passion in order to make them feel what you're talking about, to make them change the thing. And I was just like, I really want to say you need both in order to change the thing. But I didn't want to interject into a conversation that I didn't have a foothold in the first place.
Yeah, but feelings and emotions, they're not going to change anything. They're not going to change anybody's mind. And I got a prime example in our next story. Florida could ban lessons about discrimination that makes white students feel discomfort. Out of Tallahassee, a Florida bill that would prohibit public schools and private businesses, very specific, from making white people feel discomfort when they are taught or trained about discrimination in the nation's past was advanced by a Senate committee on Tuesday. The bill, which echoes a call by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, was met with criticism, saying it will spawn censorship, lawsuits, and more problems for teachers. The legislation, SB 148, by Senator Manny Diaz, Republican out of Miami, is said by its sponsor to protect individual freedoms. The measure would bar teaching in grades K through 12 that could make individuals feel responsible for historic wrongs because of their race, color, sex, or national origin. At work, employment practices or training programs that make an individual feel guilty on similar grounds could be considered an unlawful employment practice and subject a company to a lawsuit. But here's the thing. Nobody gives a crap that racism makes us feel uncomfortable, because we still haven't gotten the anti-lynching bill. We still don't have the John Lewis voting bill. So this is just about white people's comfort, and they can easily say that they're uncomfortable or they're feeling discomfort regarding anything. They could walk into a black-owned business and say that that's discomfort. They could walk into a black, an Asian, a Hispanic teacher's classroom and say that their presence makes them feel discomfort. But feelings don't invoke change unless you are the complexion for protection. They don't care about our feelings. They care about the facts, and they care about how, if we can outright legislation over them. That's the truth. If we want change, we have to learn legislation and outright them. And I'm not saying right as in right and wrong. I'm talking about right as in pen and paper. Outright them. Out lobby them. Out song and dance them. Out kiss the baby on the forehead than them. Out PR them. Out campaign them. Because feelings haven't worked. They've watched our children get hosed by the police. They've watched our children and our parents and our grandparents and us get attacked by dogs and beaten and killed by cops. Emotion and passion never came in. Even the most passionate ally or advocate still doesn't care enough, still isn't going to do enough. Passion isn't going to propel us to change. We have to out Queen's Gambit them. Because instead of putting critical race theory in schools, instead of saying that it is a federal hate crime to lynch a Black person, instead of saying, let these Black and brown people vote, they're distracting with this. They are playing chess and still trying to make us play checkers. We know that the emotional side, the passionate side is always going to be on their backs until we change things. And the way we're going to change things is to outdo them, but at them being them. And I'm not saying for Black women to get out in these streets and cry, because that doesn't affect them. But I do know what a white woman's kryptonite is. Black men start crying.
Explain.
Them white women want to come through and save you and swoop you up real quick. Oh, the Black women ain't treating you right. Baby, come on. How can I help you? Well, you know what? I'm just saying, I don't want to die. I would like to stay alive. So if you could help me get this, anything for you, my king. You love me more than you love them sisters, right? Oh yeah, baby. You know I do. You know I do. You hold me down. You blacker than the blackest Black woman I done ever seen. You know I got you. You my queen. Put them boxes. You know what? Put some micros in your hair. Throw some D's on it, baby. Come on. Oh, yeah. I done saved the Black king, y'all. Said we got that John Lewis bill passed for my king. Thank you, Becky. I'm out. What you mean? I never wanted you. That's how we got to play it.
I just say this and again, I think it's a marriage of the two, but more at least a 50-40%. You got to be more knowledgeable than passionate. So you got to have the passion to get you to do the research so that you can do the knowledge, so that you can get them into the things. Be like, no, I'm singing and tapping better than you because I know what I'm talking about. So there it is then.
But let's see, hold on.
But I'm just like, you know what? I don't know. I don't get it. You know, white people, y'all literally sit here on this on every social media app, and y'all sit there and think that us learning about what actually happened is going to make you feel uncomfortable or make us want revenge against you. Honey, if we wanted revenge, you would be dead. Let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. If we wanted revenge, you would be dead.
Civil rights movement. There wouldn't have been movements for equity and equality. We would have just flipped the tables. Because when slavery ended, we just wanted to be left alone and allowed to flourish. If we wanted revenge, baby, we could have taken it then. We fervently outnumbered you at that point in time. And there were revolts.
I mean, hold on. Wait. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Remember, you bred us like dogs. Let's be real. Let's call a spade again. So by that time, you quote unquote releasing us. If we wanted revenge, we would have been dead. You bred us into a higher population total than you, and not even to add to the fact that we had Native Americans on our side too, so they would have joined in that fight, and the Spanish in Mexico. Oh, they would be like, oh, we fighting, we throwing hands.
There was a period of time that Florida was a safe haven for us, but like I said before, there were already revolts where the slaves on the plantation not only went into their masters' houses and eliminated them, they went plantation to plantation until they couldn't go anymore, killing everybody. Like at that point, if that's what we wanted, and even right now, Because let's face it, without Black people, what would any country have? If we shut down and if we truly gate kept what we have and we said, you know what, y'all, we're only going to share this with each other. And if we went back to some of our evolved languages, you wouldn't know what we were talking about, even if we spoke in plain sight, because you all are not good at deciphering languages. That's why you all would teach us your language to have us translate for you. Whoop, didn't know that. See, that's a part of critical race theory too. You cannot be a mutation and still call yourself superior, but then play the victim. That's not that none of that works in the same universe at the same time, at the same place, on the same date. No. But if we all decided to shut down and say, you know what, we are no longer sharing anything with you, and since you keep telling us to leave, we're not going to leave, but you're going to leave our stuff alone. White people, do you realize you would basically be left with your dirty ass, and that's it? How are you going to combat us without it? We could literally starve you out or freeze you out, because you wouldn't be able to drive a car. Hell, at this point, you wouldn't be able to live in a house. Because simple things like archways, you didn't even come up with. And don't get anything refrigerated. Nothing. Don't have it delivered to you refrigerated. Don't go into a store and get it refrigerated. Don't bring it home and refrigerate it. If we came and collected our shit, like, you know what? This is our reparations right here. We don't have to revolt in a major way. You would die out. Your key to survival is us. We have always been benevolent enough to keep you alive. You allowed us to feed you, breastfeed your children, raise your children. If we wanted revenge, we could have raised your kids to hate you. We could have poisoned you at breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, brunch, anything. You're so goofy. You left us alone with everything. And you had no idea the knowledge that we had. You took our shamans and our medicine men and women and put them in your damn kitchens. You don't know what roots could have been put on you. You're goofy. Like, if we wanted revenge, baby, we could have been had it. We don't. We want to be left alone. We are tired of living rent-free in your dusty, crusty, roach-infested brains. We're tired of being dragged into every conversation. Every time somebody else criticizes you, you're like, well, Black women, Black men, what the hell do we have to do with you in this shit over here?
Not a blame thing.
Somebody said something about a Karen going wild. And, well, Black women, what? That's a white woman and on another white woman. What the hell? They don't even have a spray tan. It ain't even fake melanin in this conversation. Why? We just want to be left alone. Stop equating us with everything bad while you're emulating everything about us.
Here's the thing, because I think one person, I think I may have sent it to you. I don't know if I have the video I can find, or if I can find it, if it's still up. The reason why they do what they do to us is they push their insecurities and their bad things on us because they don't want to deal with it.
Facts.
Because if you look at anything that they say about we're aggressive, who's the most of the time getting videoed and filmed being aggressive? It
But
sure ain't us.
Who's burnt down, bombed down, destroyed, created mobs more than them? The whole Red Summer, that wasn't us. That was them.
And I'm just like, who's the Unabomber? Not a Black person. Who's gone and shot up more schools than any former person? Not a Black person. Who's gone in and literally, huh?
I said, who looks at a marathon and says, let me blow it up? Who decides to go to a movie premiere of a popular movie franchise and go, nobody should have fun, they should all die? And most recently, who gets mad because a little popcorn got thrown at them because they were being a dick? So instead of getting punched in the jaw, they had a popcorn thrown at them and they decided to pum somebody and take their life. Not an ounce of melanin there.
I'm like, okay.
But y'all doing everything possible to look racially ambiguous and do everything you think we're doing. Like for y'all to be so superior, your insecurities are showing. Because if you're so superior, why are you always trying to emulate, mimic, and mock us? Oh yeah, y'all, and I'm dead serious. I really, really do have a list of questions I would love to ask Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I'm gonna start atting her on Twitter tomorrow. So if y'all want to help, I mean, she's stupid. She might do it.
I'm just saying, I'm just like, y'all will sit here on again out, and like even with what's going on in Florida and any other place in Texas and all the rest of them. And I'm just like, y'all sitting here acting like these new imposed rules are going to prevent us from doing anything. Newsflash, baby. We will be there in droves even before the thing opens, and we will move fast and quickly. So don't think just because you put in, oh, there's less polling places. Where do you think we're gonna go? The same polling places that you going to, we gonna go to, since you want to be cute.
And we'll carpool just like we used to.
We will get back. Like I said, if anyhow Miss Stacy gets governor and then decides to go for president, I'm voting for her. I'm voting for her. I don't even care. I don't even care. Because and then see the dream ticket. I'm sorry, Miss Obama. I know you said you wouldn't run, but her and Stacy, oh my God, it'd be magic. It would be magic.
The way the country is going, I think Mama Obama might change her mind. I think she might.
I'm
and I
telling
think
you.
the girls and Barack have been working on her. Like, look, we like Joe, but look at Mom, look at this. Do you see what I see? Come on. Just give it 4 years. I mean, if you don't like it, you can leave. Just 4 years. I mean, you already got your toothbrushes already there. Like,
I'm just saying, because I'm just like, her and Stacy, oh my gosh. Because I'm just like, ma'am, how you going to show up to another woman's inauguration and look better than that?
I want to achieve that level of petty.
Because that was so petty. I was just like, I know Joe blew up that car. I'm like, I know she did not show up to this thing looking better than my wife. What the hell is wrong with her?
But Dr. Biden was probably like,
yeah, I know she was going to do
because
it.
I know that they good friends. So she was like, girl, that last inauguration, I know you wasn't feeling it, but girl, you know that wasn't you. And I'm about to go into this White House, and I got to go meet all these other people, and they know that we friends. Can you just get ladies' night fresh? And Michelle was like, but girl, you know how I don't care. Okay, I can't be going out in these streets explaining you downgrading yourself because you didn't like the last first lady. Just be yourself. I'll be fine. I don't even want to be here for real. You and Barry said that y'all was gonna tell him not to run. Well, girl, him and Barry, they went out to drinks without me. Okay, so you owe me this. Take all the spotlight off of me because I got an attitude. I got to walk through the streets. They done told me it's 6 blocks I got to walk in these hills. I didn't become a doctor for this. I got you, girl. Then inauguration day, Michelle Obama walked in like, I understood the assignment.
I was just like, girl. I was just like, no, she did not have her hair laid dyed and fried to the side. I was like, what is? I was like, ma'am, stop that. Stop that. You can't be doing that. That ain't right. It ain't decent.
I feel like right before the inauguration, both of the girls came home like, Mom, we synced the last one. Come here. Come here. Like, what, girls? We're not playing this with you no more. People know we related. Get yourself together. Get yourself together. You embarrassing us out here in these streets.
You know
Melania ain't as pretty as you. And what you
See, I would want Bernie, but see, no tea, no shade. I'm just not sure how long he gonna last.
I
Because
love
Bernie is on borrowed time.
Bernie is on borrowed time, and Bernie has become the crotchety old man where people are listening to him less and less, and it's a shame, but so is life. But final words, my darling. Oh, and do not forget. Oh, crap. I forgot to tell you guys. Starting tomorrow, I will be working on Valentine's Day merch to have it out so you all can order in time for Valentine's Day. Excuse me. And there is other merch. But right now, because I got jokes and I had a long day. The new promo code, as you can see, is FLUVID22. Because I ain't had no damn sense. And David left me to my own devices for a little bit too long today. So
I did not, whatever.
I'm not taking responsibility for it. So
Yes, you are.
No,
That was your fault. You decided to do that. Oh, Jesus.
and don't forget, tomorrow, and please, y'all, stop sending videos because for the past 3 days, I've been converting videos and I can't see them as they convert. But I don't think time-wise I can take any more videos for this week for tomorrow's reaction. I can't. I don't think there's any way for me to fit them all in. And I can't go back and remember what videos didn't get used. So please, no more videos this week. And do not forget, next Friday, we will be on Zoom because that will be the Janet Jackson special so that everybody can watch it together because I realize everybody doesn't have cable or the Lifetime streaming app. And I don't want you to pay for it just for one night. But we all agreed we stand Janet and we want to hear her side of some things through history. So that's where we will be. We next Friday, not tomorrow, but next Friday, we will not be live on this channel. We will be live on Zoom watching Miss Jackson if you're nasty. And if you all want to see the Mary J. Blige docuseries or documentary on Amazon Prime, let me know. We can set up a date and we can stream that too. And your final thoughts for the night, darling?
See, okay. So to answer his question down there,
I'll be after Black Girl Magic.
I would say I would give. Oh, see, here's the hierarchy here. I need Michelle and Miss Stacy. I need them. See, AOC, I can bring her in as like a Secretary of State for that season. Then we'll switch her over to her and Stacy for president and vice president.
See, I would put her at the cabinet.
Well, see, we can have her as that for either or. It's either the state or head of cabinet. Either or is fine during that season. Then after Stacey's second term, because she's already done vice president and she did president, then we'll have AOC flip over and she'll be president and then Stacey be vice president, and then we'll have Michelle come back in for a second term, and then we'll have Michelle and AOC. And then we'll have Stacey as either head of cabinet or head of the state. And then we'll finally have Stacey be president and Michelle be vice president. And then we'll have AOC as head of cabinet or head of state. See how that works? See how that progression works?
Geeky, Pelosi isn't the head of anybody's cabinet. We're talking about the president puts together a cabinet. And then he has a head of that cabinet. Well, he or she or they have a head of that cabinet that's like their left-hand man. Like if the vice president is their right-hand man, the head of their cabinet is their left-hand man. I was just saying that because with that dynamic in play, ain't nobody getting away with what they're doing now. Like there's no way the Democrats could have control of both houses and nothing getting passed. Because if you had those three women sitting up in there, people would have some explaining to do right about now. They would be getting called in there like you get called into your mama's house when she found your real report card when you tried to hide it. and trust and believe. I'm a very confident, very strong-willed person. I would be shaking having to walk into the room and those three ladies are just sitting there like this. And we all remember that one funeral that Michelle and Barack went to, and the one lady was getting a little too kitschy, and Michelle put that church mama fake look on her and then made Barack move. That's how I envision all of their faces being, and baby, which one of us could survive that? And you know, if you try to argue with them, they already have the answer. They already gonna cut you to the quick. They've already written out what the policy should be and where you done messed up and how you done messed up. No, 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 ma'am.
Yeah,
No,
but you see how that progression. So you see, you have Michelle and Stacey, and then you have AOC as their state or head of cabinet. Then you flip it to Stacey and AOC. Then you flip it back to Michelle and then AOC, and then you flip it back to Stacey and then AOC, and then AOC to Stacey. So see that whole line there, we could get, because you know AOC is a dog. AOC is a pit bull, and she don't play no games. She don't like nobody.
And just, well, first of all, if you change the dress code, you're gonna have to change the dress code for the following to happen. But should that happen, please make me the press secretary.
Ooh,
you just got to change the dress code. I'm not trying to take my piercings in and out every day. There's that. I just, because it's hard. First of all, you've been on the phone with me because the one I had to wire cut it out. It would not, because people are like, you usually change it every so often, you know, because you like to work. Bitch, I didn't realize that it was an infinity hoop. Once you clicked it, you couldn't see where it ended to unhook it. I had to cut it out. These things they. Oh, and y'all stop DMing me on Instagram asking if I set off metal detectors. I use surgical steel. They do not set off metal detectors. And stop asking if I have piercings other places. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. That means you're not that blessed, okay? Be blessed, stop being stressed. But we're gonna see you tomorrow for the party. I think I might make some tacos tomorrow. And we
Tacos
never did
are good.
We never did get wings. We went to the grilled cheese place.
I ain't figured as much.
We love cheese.
All right, y'all.
See you tomorrow, y'all.